Hello and welcome to my final project presentation for the GATE Curriculum and Methods 1 course. My name is James Oldham and I am an English language arts teacher at Reed High School. I also teach Shakespeare and film as well as our concurrent enrollment English 101 course. Let's get started. One activity that we're always trying to get students to engage in more at my school site is independent reading. The trick for most ELA teachers is how to properly assess every student's learning and engagement through reading their chosen texts. Also, how to differentiate between those who read at much higher levels. Most ELA teachers, in my experience, opt to do book talks or maybe even book reports, but the assignment menu offers a broad variety through which students can engage with the big ideas, details, ethics, and any other concepts related to depth and complexity. Susan Weinbrenner in Chapter 4 of Teaching Gifted Kids in Today's Classroom also tells us that reading activity menus help encourage students to explore topics in more depth. As you can see here, my independent reading book assignment menu incorporates icons that show connections to depth and complexity, as well as the standards being measured. My menu is organized in the form of a four-course menu, where students need to choose an appetizer to be submitted during their reading of the text and before their main course. The main course is presented to the class with a side that is intended to enhance their presentation. For example, if a student chose to do a TED Talk which relates to big ideas from depth and complexity, they can pair it with a side such as interview a person which is connected with point of view. Ideally, considering alternative points of view during their TED Talk presentation will enhance the big ideas they are giving to the class and measuring multiple speaking and listening skills. After students finish their main courses with sides, they complete a final dessert option intended to be more reflective in nature. During independent reading times, I want to ensure that all students, including my GATE population, are fully engaged with their texts. To monitor student understanding of their independent reading books, as well as to engage my GATE students in higher levels of learning, I've recreated the Depth and Complexity Peabody Ducks assignment into an interview form for students to answer as I question them about their books. In the past, each time students read their independent reading books, I would look at and record the page they were currently reading and ask them about specific lines, characters, and events. I would also ask if they were enjoying the book, but this all is very surface level understanding. Using the form seen here, I can ask students a myriad of open-ended discussion questions to push them to higher levels of understanding. Using a simple rubric during these interviews, I would assign students a level of competency that reflects their engagement with the text and their abilities to answer a range of questions from the interview form. 4 represents full engagement beyond the expectations of the grade level. 3 represents full engagement with the text with thoughts and ideas conducive to the grade level. 2 represents an approaching understanding of the text where the student may struggle to express some of the more nuanced and even obvious ideas of the text. And 1 represents an emerging understanding of the text where most of the text's nuanced and surface level concepts are not properly conveyed by the student. Ideally, books that students choose relate to either a pragmatical or philosophical understanding that they wish to come to. There's nothing wrong with reading for enjoyment either, but for those students who need either a reason to read or need to take their reading to a more advanced level, such as our GATE population, the Genius Hour curriculum and methods offer an opportunity for students to use their independent reading time as an opportunity for research. A resource I've adapted for next school year when I implement the Genius Hour curriculum is resource page number 7. In order to incorporate the independent reading practices with the Genius Hour, I've added a short library research section where students are expected to utilize books from our library that are as closely related to their passion project as possible, and use the same independent reading practices to fuel their passion and purposes. Students would continue to read about the topics they are most impassioned about continually during the planning, processing, and conferencing phases. This helps show students that their passions don't have to be finished at any stage, and that they can continue to work towards the topics they love, instilling a growth mindset. Thank you for watching my presentation.